Coming next, Cup on the Stage. The following program is brought to you by Cup Audio Services. Contemporary and old school productions, visit cupaudioserve.com.
Cup on the Stage.
Hi, I'm Goulart and this is Cup on Stage, covering the first Kraftwerk concert for the 2023 season. This is C6 Fest, an event sponsored by C6 Bank, and the big question is, what can we expect from the new concerts in 2023? Any new song, any new element? This is what we are going to find out in this episode of Cup on the Stage, but first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, this way you can help me bring you more content like this. Let's discover what's new. Kraftwerk is an electronic band founded in 1970 by Rolf Hutter and Florian Schneider. Their reputation points to them as the first electronic music band ever. In their first time in Rio de Janeiro, back in 1998 at Free Jazz Festival, they called the fans a lot of attention, with perfect synchrony of audio and video. Their live performances are loved around the world, and in South America it was no different. The group also played in Brazil back in 2004, 2009 and 2012. In this video, we'll try to discuss the changing live performance elements in comparison to the elements featured in 2022. We'll try to review these features from two different points of view, the technical one and the point of view of people who just want to appreciate the gig. Certainly that kind of video is a lot hard to do, so please help me hitting the like button, sharing, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let's take the first concert played in Rio de Janeiro as a reference, commenting on each topic and analyzing them from both points of view. This way we can skip considering the stage evolution, the new elements, the compact set list, the new member arrival, what's new at the music arrangements, the backstage, the new screen, and which is the best one, LED projection or 3D projection. This way, let's comment on each topic. Stage evolution. Considering the evolution of their stage set, we can always expect changes. In the 1970s, they started the multimedia concept in their live gigs, with dynamic images in their stage background. In the 1980s, they innovated a totally futuristic setup for the time. In the 1990s, their setup got new elements like new light set and new interactive screens. In the 2000s, there was a transition to what fans called the laptop era, and in the 2010s, the 3D era. That makes me think that they tend to explore different live elements each decade and develop them with small features improvements. Maybe from the point of view of pure appreciators, that may sound repetitive, since few elements change within a decade. However, from the technical perspective, that's awesome, since it helps the artist to perfect each technique the most. New element summary. Considering the general features of the 2022 concert as a reference, Kraftwerk has imputed new features for this concert season, such as the new screen with three-dimensional features and LED projection, new custom with lights control, new music arrangements, and the most surprising elements, the arrival of a new member on the band. But don't worry, we'll delve into these features later. Compact set list. There's nothing more frustrating than expecting a whole concert of a favorite band or artist and discovering that it would be a compact concert. That can be disappointing considering a band like Kraftwerk, which explores so many concepts interconnected. If you are the person who just wants to feel the environment of the gig with their famous hits, that can be alright. However, if you're trying to understand the concepts of a band like Kraftwerk, or even if you're just introducing yourself to a new band, whatever it is, that can be bad, since it doesn't allow you to explore important topics in a discography. That is certainly not possible to do in 75 minutes. In my opinion, at least 2 hours are necessary to summary a discography properly. Anyway, The compact setlist is not Kraftwerk's fault. There is a lot of bureaucracy involved in it, and some other factors, especially when a band or artist plays in a festival such as C6 Fest. Let me try to explain it better. Back in the late 1990s, when Kraftwerk came to Brazil for the first time, there was a festival named Free Jazz Festival. The big idea was to introduce the Brazilian audience to different art concepts and music, something different from what they are used to. That was a chance for people to see artists that probably would never visit their country, perhaps because of their low popularity in a region. In comparison to other countries, Brazil is not the one where artists like Kraftwerk are too popular. Maybe that is a consequence of different cultural elements, which distances people from looking for something not like what they are used to. In a country like Brazil, the top charts can include regional rhythms such as sertanejo, something like Brazilian's country music, Brazilian funk, and of course, samba. It's hardly possible to listen to bands like Kraftwerk in the Brazilian top of the charts. The fact is that there are restricted fans of the German band in the country. Since the Free Jazz Festival was over in the 2000s, C6 Bank decided to sponsor an event with the same idea, to bring bands that would not visit Brazil for the reduced numbers of fans. However, below average popularity was not the only reason to shorten Kraftwerk's concert. Depending on the festival's proposal, many artists or bands can play at the same day, and even at the same stage. Since Kraftwerk's stage takes a long time to be ready, that can make it difficult to follow the concert deadlines. So, to avoid prejudice against other bands or artists, many elements of concerts normally are removed, especially when a band or artist is not the headliner. In 1998, Kraftwerk featured the whole concert, but the reduced set list already featured in 2009 and 2012. One of the most missing elements in a shortened Kraftwerk concert are the curtains, which give a sense of mystery and anticipation, especially before they perform the robots. The articulated robots and important songs in their discography such as Radioactivity and Home Computer were missing too. Even so, the band was able to prioritize great hits that were pleasant to listen to. New members' arrival. Absolutely nobody was expecting a new member's arrival. That hasn't happened since 2013 with the departure of Stefan Pfaffy in 2012. Actually, Kraftwerk never reveals their plans, which in my opinion is a good thing, bringing us the mystery and sometimes hype. The fact is that Falk Heiffenhagen has replaced Fritz Hilbert at electronic percussion, and a new member covered Falk's place as a video operator. On the day this video has been recorded, we don't even know the current video operator's name, his nationality, and previous function in the band. Some information sources point to him as George Bongard, but that's everything you know and nothing is confirmed yet. That makes us speculate about the possibility of a temporary replacement. One of the possible causes could be Fritz's health. The percussionist was already unable to play for health reasons in 2008, when a concert was cancelled in Melbourne. According to this video, Fritz suffered a heart attack that year and he had to be hospitalized. Although we can badly understand, Rolf tries to explain the situation and wishes him a fast recovery. Well, we all hope and wish Fritz as well. He has been a great percussionist since 1990 when he played live in Kraftwerk for the first time. Fritz's replacement can be misunderstood. However, the good fact is that the replacement shows that Kraftwerk's leadership is interested in keeping the band regardless of the members. We should consider that Rolf Hutter, the only original member, will be 80 years old soon. Of course, we hope to see him playing for a long time. However, it is good to think that when he's no longer able to play, there is a possibility of a replacement, so the music on Kraftwerk won't stop. Anyway, long life to the pioneers of electronic music. Music arrangements. So, what's new in the arrangements? Many elements. Let's start with numbers and computer world. The songs has been adapted to be very similar to the album released in 1981. The new set was already featured in 2022. However, this year it seems to be even more close to the original song elements, especially for the leads at computer world. Check it out. Space Lab's bad intro was removed. We don't know if that was a consequence of the short time of the concert, but the song was started without this element. Next, we had the Mensch Maschine. Nothing changed, except the missing effect sound in the middle of the song. Autobahn was the fourth song. The part when Rolf uses the vocoder was played a lot minimalist, especially the percussion. Only hi-hat was played, which provided a high contrast when a song's intensity suddenly grew up. Interestingly, that made the audience react loudly. Very cool. Tour de France has no alteration except the transition for the 2003's version, this time without the pads. But I think it was a volume issue since pad returned later. And the highlight is Computer Love. Beyond the new projections for the song, a new arrangement was played. Instead of being right to the point like the mixed version, Rolf used the vocoders to sing, as he used it to do live in 1981, but now with a vocoder. The drum pattern was also adapted to be like in 1981. Very cool. Next, they played the module. Nothing changed. She keeps being the model and looking good. Trans-Europe Express now features the lyrics from 1977 tributing Iggy Pop and David Bowie. That was awesome. The robots started suddenly without the slowly played intro elements. I frankly missed it, but the available time was short. What could it do? Another missing element was a flashlight. The arrangement stays the same. Next, we had Planet of Visions that started to play without the Expo 2000's intro like in 2022. Once again, I think that was because of the short time available. After Boing Boom Check and a pause, Music Non-Stop was played. The pause was good because it helps to make it clear that there are two songs instead of an average medley. In the end, I frankly missed the vocals saying music non-stop with a whole reverb, but once again, I think that was a consequence of the shortened setlist. Backstage. After the performance, it was possible to see the team of stage assistants removing the modules with Kraftwerk's rig, since Underworld played next. Surprisingly, all Kraftwerk's gear was removed in less than 5 minutes. That makes me believe that they have more features coming for the 2023 concerts, especially in Europe. New screen. And the long-awaited new screen was awesome. The three-dimensional screen now has an LED projection and it was complemented by 2 additional screens at Rio's concert. From the place where I watched the performance, the side view, the additional screens were crucial, otherwise I would not be able to see the whole projection on the main screen. Especially for the tons of wires at the concert hall, bruh. That was a shame, but not a problem from Kraftwerk's performance. I selected the upper floor because I prioritized seeing them perform instead of the front view. I wanted to see something like the 2015's Amsterdam footage, and I did it. Anyway, if you want to see the technical performance, I recommend you to sit down from the top side, like I did. However, if you want to have a deep immersion in a song context, you must sit down from the front view. The new screen matches perfectly to songs' graphical art with depth, such as Space Lab, Autobahn, and Trans-Europe Express. An amazing experience. LED projection versus 3D projection. Previously, in 2022, Kraftwerk was still performing 3D concert with glasses. I particularly think that LED projections improved their performances for two reasons. First, you don't depend on the glasses to see the projection depth effects. And second, you can see the projection clearly and without distortions if the glass disturbs you. In addition to this, the LED projection points to a tendency for more immersive projections and possible holographic elements next. In summary, Rio de Janeiro had a privilege of an outstanding concert, both for being the first concert in 2023, both for the new members' arrival and the new elements. In the end, Rolf said the traditional "Good night," Auf Wiedersehen, and an unexpected adios. Brazilian audience reacted with the traditional ensemble screaming loud music non-stop like they do since 1998. That confirms that although Kraftwerk's Brazilian audience is restricted, they can be very warm. And that's all in this episode of Cop on Stage. What do you think of the reveal? Did I miss any point? Let me know in the comments. Certainly that kind of video is a lot hard to do. So please help me hitting the like button, sharing, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next Cop on Stage.